So Linktree / LNLPodcast is where you can find all of our podcasts, guys. We do a weekly podcast on Fridays, and then I do short ones on Mondays. This is going to cover the big, beautiful bill and the $0 tax stamp. We're not going to talk about anything else in that bill because it's politics, and I don't need to get into that. We're just talking about guns. That's what this is what we talk about. So this is not in effect. This does not actually start until January 1st, 2026. $0 tax stamps effective January 1st, 2026. What does this mean for you guys for suppressors? We're going to focus on suppressors. I'm also going to talk about CT others and registered assault weapons because that does come into play here. So as of January 1st, 2026, your $200 tax stamp is gone. Prior to that, so right this very second, there's still a $200 tax stamp. There'll be a $200 tax stamp all the way up until January 1st if you want to buy a suppressor. So what are your three options? Well, option number one is file now, right? Beat the rush, submit your Form 4, pay the $200 tax stamp, and buy your suppressors, right? Just like you normally would. Turnaround time for suppressors right now is about 2 business days. So you file on a Monday, you're most likely back on a Wednesday or Thursday. That has been the average turnaround time for suppressors for a long time now. You know, you file on a Friday, you may be back on a Tuesday, maybe a Wednesday, but turnaround time for suppressors has been pretty quick. Option number 2, you wait for the free tax stamp. You join the crowd with everyone else. You hold off until January 2026, until that implementation comes through, and then you file and you don't pay your $200 tax stamp and you get a free tax stamp. But you're going to be competing with everyone in America for these suppressors, not just your local people. You're competing with everyone in America for suppressors. You are competing with every single gun store and every single wholesaler for us to get these suppressors in. I think you're going to see a huge supply and demand increase. I think you're going to see a little supply and demand increase in prices. And I think you're going to see wholesalers dry up with suppressors. It'll save you some money, but you're going to run into long wait times with these suppressors, just getting them in into supply issues. Option number 3, which is what we're going to start offering now, it's Monday, is buy now, file later. If you want to pay for your suppressor right now and you want to file in January, I'm okay with that. As long as you pay for it in full, it can sit on my shelf and collect dust. I'm cool with that, but it must be paid for in full. So I'm calling that buy now, file later. That's option number 3 here. So if you want to wait for your free tax stamp, that's cool. You can pay for it now and it can sit on the shelf and wait for you in the back. I am totally okay with that. So that'll save you your $200 tax stamp. You come in January or February, and then you file that Form 4 paperwork. But the caveat with that is our Form 4 is going to take more time to process. Is there going to be a huge demand because people are getting suppressors, the Form 4 for free now? Is there going to be a huge uptick? Is that going to slow down the processing? Possibly. Right now we're taking, again, about 2 business days, about 48 hours. Is that going to clog the wheels? It could, but we are offering that too. So I would expect a delay in that. But if you don't want to pay that $200 tax stamp but you want to lock in a suppressor, I get that. Buy now, pay later. We'll put it in the shelf for you, put your name on it. We've got a nice little formal write-up, and there you go. So that big, beautiful bill that Trump's and the House and the Senate has passed has removed that $200 tax stamp from suppressors. What else has it done? Well, regarding guns, it has also removed it from SBRs and SBSs, so shotguns, short barrel rifles. Why is this good for you in Connecticut? Well, this can be good for you if you have a registered assault weapon, or if you have registered assault weapon lowers. That's important. So with the CT other ban, if you did that, while I am not an attorney, while I am not giving legal advice, some people did this when the brace ruling changed, when the braces were stocks again, which braces are braces again. But when that ruling changed, we had that free low tax stamp period where you could SBR something. So now you can actually SBR something. So you can now Form 1 something for free as of January 1st. that is going to clog this system. It is all done through e-forms, but you can now SBR something for free as of January 1st, 2026. This is when this is all going into effect. So the ATF will not approve an SBR in Connecticut without a signed and official assault weapon certificate from the Special Licensing and Firearms Unit. As a follow-up with that, because I'm sure you guys are going to ask this question in the comments, so to stop those comments right away, you're going to ask, hey, Josh, I filed my assault weapon certificate back in May of 2024. I haven't gotten it yet. What's going on? It's been a year. We get that. They are being done slowly. They are being done as overtime from what we have been told. They're not being done as regular work. Oh, the people that were done first have been the mail-ins from what we've been told, and we think those have all been completed. So they're now working on the electronic ones, and those are starting to get worked on now. And there's no rhyme or reason to what we've seen right now. There's no logic from what I've seen. Some people have gotten some back and not others. Some have gotten all of them back. I've gotten none of mine back. So I did all of mine electronically. I did wait close to the end because I was helping everyone. I was helping a ton of people file these. So I did mine probably, it was maybe about a month before the deadline. So not the end, but pretty close. So about that time period. But once you have that assault weapon certificate in hand, then you can file for that SBR. If it was a registered lower, if it was sold to you as a receiver and it was a registered receiver in that proper time period, then you can go and do that. Again, not giving you legal advice, but that's what other people have done. So maybe consult an attorney if you don't believe me, or maybe you want your own legal advice. But that's what we have been told by people that have gone and done that. So recapping, January 1st, $0 tax stamps go into effect on SBRs, SBSs, and suppressors. Your three options for suppressors, because we can have those in Connecticut, are file now, pay the $200 tax stamp just like you normally would. Wait for the free tax stamp and compete with the rest of America and probably be bogged down in the Form 4 hell that is going to happen. Or buy now and file later. Pay for it now and then file when you want to later on. That way, you have your name on that suppressor. You'll get to it when you want to. And then it'll still be a free tax stamp when you go and get to that paperwork. If you're not in a rush for it, but you don't want to, pay the $200 tax stamp. We get that too. But when the suppressor tax stamp ends, I do think that the suppressors in inventory right now and the hard to get ones are going to be even harder to get. I think the e-form site is going to go get very bogged down and slower, and approval times are going to take longer. Again, right now we're about 48 hours, business hours, Monday through Friday. The process is still the same. You still have to do a Form 4. You still have to do your fingerprints. You still have to do the passport photo. We do everything in-house. We help you with all the forms. You do everything right here. If you've never done a suppressor form before, you've never done a Form 4 before, it does take about a half an hour the first time. And honestly, about 10 to 15 minutes of that is rolling your fingerprints the first time. We do it. We give you them on a flash drive too, so it's called an EFT file, so you don't have to do them again, which is great. And then it's just some paperwork. Obviously, once you choose your suppressor, it takes about a half an hour. Then the second time doing it, once you have that EFT file and your passport photo already on the thumb drive, then it's only about a 15-minute process from when you make your decision, and then it's just filling out paperwork and stuff. So it's a pretty easy process. If you guys have questions, obviously stop down at the store and ask. I am normally not here Mondays and Thursdays. I'm normally here the rest of the days. I pop in every now and again. And some days I'm teaching classes. Some days I'm doing a podcast. So just because my car is here, I'm hiding in my office, doesn't mean I'm actually like in the store. But check out our podcast, guys. We do a podcast almost every Friday and about maybe every other Monday or so. Lock and Load Podcast, Linktree/LNLPodcast. It's on Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Alexa. Lock and Load Podcast. Check out our last video. We had State Senator Rob Sampson on. We talked about the whole legislative session, HB 7042. We talked about that. We wrapped up all the bills and everything. It was a really good podcast. So check that out, guys. Otherwise, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them later on today, or send us a message and I can answer them one-on-one. Hopefully you guys like this. I'll try to, if you guys did like this, I'll try to do more lives like this, maybe on a Monday, instead of doing a Monday morning podcast. I'll do a Monday live or something. I'm trying to do this twice live here. I'm working on 2 different systems. We're trying it out. If you have constructive criticism, I will take it. If you're going to be an ass clown, don't be. But constructive criticism, I'll always take. Other than that, guys, my name's Josh from Lock N Load Firearms, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya. Lock N Load Podcast is sponsored by Lock N Load Firearms, Connecticut's #1 rated gun store and pistol permit class on Google. Come check us out, 1573 Meriden Waterbury Turnpike in Southington. Lock N Load Firearms.
Lock N Load Podcast is also sponsored by Patriot Wear Holsters, custom-made Kydex holsters locally made in Waterbury, Connecticut. www.patriotwearholster.com and use code LNLPodcast for 10% off your purchase. Orders available for shipping or pickup at various locations.